Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our new episode of Words of Wellness. My name is Yassir Al-Manawi. I'm a clinical therapist and I'm going to be your host for today's episode. Today I want to talk again about honesty in the house, honesty between the family, honesty with the child, honesty in child rearing. We're going to talk about a lot of aspects. So it's a very important topic, and what we need to do is that we need to pay attention to what we're going to be talking about today in order for us not to fall into some mistakes that we don't want our children to pick it up. So let's see. We have a hadith. It talks about hypocrisy, but I want you to think about it in terms of your family. And we're going to explain the hadith, and we're going to talk about the psychological aspects of the lifestyle that we have with our children in our homes. And that's the way it goes. From Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu, who said that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 3 things are sign of the hypocrite. When speaks, he tells lies. When promises, he breaks the promise. And when he's trusted, he proves to be dishonest. This is a very strong hadith. When he speaks, he lies. When he promises, he breaks the promise. And when he's spoken to, he's not trusted. Wow. If I take a look at this actually will cause me and everybody else to have psychological issues and psychological problems. If I have this kind of personality, I will not be able to function not only with my children, but also with the society in general. Let's see what we have in here. What do I need to do with my children? First rule, if I promise my child that I'm going to do something with him or with her, what I need to do is that I need to keep my promise. No ands, ifs, or whats. I need to keep my promise. Otherwise, I should not promise. Now, a lot of parents are going to tell me, well, but my kids, if I don't do things for them, they're going to get upset, they're going to cry, they're going to stamp their feet, and it's just unbelievable. I said, okay, you can deal with this in a different way, but I don't want a parent to promise just to calm their child down. And then the child remembers. And then they come and ask for the promise, and then the parents would say, the parents would say, I do not remember, or I didn't promise this, so they would lie again in the top of breaking the promise. What happens psychologically to the child? First of all, they are going to mistrust their parents, totally mistrust their parents. Second of all, they are going to learn this way of life, which is what? They are going to learn that it's okay because if my parents are doing this, so it must be okay. It's okay because if my parents are promising and they're breaking the promises, so I can do that too to get out of situations. These are 2 things psychologically that we cannot do for our children. Let's take a look at the psychological aspects of a parent who would do that and a child who will come and confront the parent, no, you did promise me and you did not keep your promise. You know, in my opinion, that would be a broken man. A broken man's symptom. What is a broken man? Somebody who has no values or a little bit of values. Somebody who have lost their self-respect for themselves. Somebody who is not able to stand up and say no when they're supposed to say no and say yes when they're supposed to say yes. And these are things that I need to teach my children. If I do not do that, what happens to them? They lose their sense of security. What does that mean? Parents, a lot of time, to get out of a situation, they say yes and they give in. Well, I say as a parent, your job and my job and every parent's job is to stand the wall, the security wall for the children. Children will run as fast as they want to, and they come and they hit the wall, and they go down. It's going to hurt. Yes, it is going to hurt. But at the same time, it's going to give them the sense of security because you are giving them the boundaries that they need in their lives. It's not an open space. So sense of security is very important. Another thing is the sense of values, because when my children grow up and get older and get to the age of 16, and then all of a sudden you say, well, I can't believe my daughter is lying to me, or I can't believe my son is lying to me, and I don't trust him. Well, whose fault is that? Is it the kid's fault, or is it what we do as parents without watching ourselves? It's what we do as parents. So we need always to watch ourselves, to watch our actions towards our children, to watch how we deal with our children, to watch what we promise and what we cannot promise. And let me tell you something. Children are very smart. They take the first 7 years to study you. From the time of birth to the age of 7, they're studying. Oh, my father does this, I can go this way or I can go that way to get to him. Same thing with the mother too. They study you. And then they come to you, and then you feel like you're obligated to do things. I disagree about the sense of obligation to do things just because you want to get out of a situation. What you need to do is that you need to discuss issues openly with your children. I'm not saying that you do not let them live their childhood. On the contrary, you let them live their childhood, and at the same time, you discuss these issues with them openly. You tell them, for instance, teach them the values of money, the values of finances, the values of budgeting, so they will know in their later life, in their later years, that they can budget and not everything they want, they get. They can wait, which is delayed gratification. It's a very important. I want you to remember that. Delayed gratification. Because just imagine if you have a 45-year-old man who never learned how to delay his gratification, and he wants what he wants when he wants it. Whoa, that is what I call, could lead to a lot of problems. And it could lead to one of the main diseases in today's society, that is addiction. A lot of things that we see in addiction is that I want what I want it. And then you find out if I don't get it, I go and I do whatever I want to do, self-destruct or do anything else. So again, let's see. You be honest with your child. You talk to them openly. You don't promise unless if you're going to keep your promise. If you promise something and you know you're going to do it in a month or two, tell them. Give them the time. If you know that you're not going to be able to do it, tell them I can't do it now, but maybe in the future we can do it. So watch what you're doing with your children. Watch what you're doing at home. And with that, we're going to end our episode for today, and we'll see you again in a different episode. Thank you very much.